Eric B's Daily Vlogs.
All right, another guest on the Daily Podcast with me, Eric B. We are waiting. He's actually already in the waiting room. So what we're going to do, like we always do, we have questions. You guys want to ask questions, go ahead and ask questions. If the questions are relevant, I'll go ahead and share the questions on the screen. I know there's a lot of people on Twitter who wants to ask questions like, what motivated Marco to take his son? I know what motivated him. You know, I'm a dad, so I know what motivated him. So we'll get this back on the other side of the break. So first, let's get this started. Welcome, everyone. It's the Daily Podcast and the Daily Vlogs, and I'm your host, Eric B. We're still on the cleaning lady guest that we're doing right now, and now we have a great actor. He has a long resume. I checked out his IMDb page, and we're going to bring him in right now. Everyone, let's welcome Mr. Ivan Shaw.
Hey, guys.
There he is, Mr. Ivan Shaw from the cleaning lady.
What's up, Eric? How you doing?
Producer. We got a lot of questions for you. I got a lot of people who are like, hey, I got questions I want to ask, and what can I ask and what can I not ask? And I said, hey, if it's the cleaning lady, go ahead and ask the questions about the cleaning lady.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in trouble with some people. I feel like I've pissed some people off or something.
You know, I told you yesterday, it's so hilarious. And I said, why did we, hold on, let's do it again. Mr. Ivan Shaw, thank you for jumping on the Daily Podcast with me, Eric B. You're definitely. Everyone was asking, when are you going to get him on? Where are you going to get him on? I'm like, hey, we're working on the time. Don't worry. And I told you yesterday, like I said yesterday, I was like, I've never seen a TV show where the good guy is the bad guy and the bad guy is the good guy.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because Marco's intentions are pure for the most part.
Yeah. Before we get into the cleaning lady, Ivan, go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone watching.
Hi, my name is Ivan Shaw, and I play Marco on the cleaning lady.
All right, Marco. Before the cleaning lady, you've done a couple movies, and we'll get to the cleaning lady towards the middle. But you were on General Hospital, All My Children, The Young and the Restless. Those are three big soap operas on TV. How was that for you?
It was very interesting because there's no other world like daytime world.
Yeah.
Because when you're in daytime, the entire thing is a giant machine. So you have to pump out one episode a day. So the writers, the directors, the actors, everybody is in this machinery, and you're just pumping things out. Like there were times on All My Children where I had to learn probably 40 pages a day.
Oh, wow.
If you ask me to do that now, there's no way in hell.
Wow.
It's just absolutely insane. The fact that anybody can do good work on those shows is just so impressive. So my hat's off to all of them. I mean, that's just such a specific medium, and you learn so much. You just learn to be on your toes. You learn to laugh at it all. You learn to have a lot of fun, and it's one of those things where if they get the words right, then they'll move on. So I've seen some people do some phenomenal performances on those things, and I'm just blown away every time. And it's a bit of a rite of passage as an actor. When I first started out in 2002, that's when I got All My Children. I mean, Michael B. Jordan was on there, Amanda Seyfried. Like it was no joke, So
yeah. I mean, your resume is long. I mean, 2001 is when you started acting. You were they called you a uncredited triad in Rush Hour 2, right?
Yeah, that was back in early IMDb days. I guess somebody threw that up there, but I wouldn't even say that's really a role. I don't know what I was doing there.
What I was doing is I was looking at stills of Rush Hour 2, and I'm trying to find like, okay, which one is he here? And I'm like, all right, there's so many Asian scenes in that movie that I couldn't even tell where you were in that scene.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you blink, you miss me.
It's one of those like, okay, I can tell who Ernie Reyes is because he was there, but you can tell Jackie Chan, but where's Ivan Shaw in here?
Not really there. It's
Ivan, I asked you yesterday. You're not Filipino, right? You're.
No, I was born in Taiwan.
Okay. But you played the Filipino role really well in The Cleaning Lady. Like,
Well, thank you.
yeah, I mean, your accent was pretty much what we would think a Filipino accent would be.
Great.
Whenever you got mad, your accent was like even more like Filipino. I'm like, whoa, this is a good Filipino. Then when I looked at you, I'm like, Shaw. Okay, so maybe he's one of those Filipinos that was born in Subic Bay and had an American father.
I mean, that's so flattering to hear. That's such a great compliment because that requires so much work because it's such a specific accent and it, like you said, it ranges. It ranges a lot. And we weren't sure exactly how far to push it at first, and it was kind of like, some people had one idea and the dialect coach had another idea, and we kept working it and reworking it, and then I got to set, and then I had to match Martha, and then it became this entire thing. So it was a lot of work to get that right. But I'm glad you said that because that makes me feel like all the work has paid off.
No, you guys. I mean, everybody from you to Elodie to Martha, you guys with the Tagalog you guys were doing. Definitely, we believed you're in. Like that's why I had to ask you yesterday when we spoke. Is like, are you Filipino? Because yeah. Question I have for you is like, what got you into acting? What got you started?
It was one of those things. I kind of had a very clumsy start. I didn't grow up in a family that knew people in the industry. I had no idea it was even a potential avenue as in terms of vocation. I was at UCLA and yeah, I was just kind of lost and floating about. I was a math major at the time, and my college girlfriend really encouraged me to do a play. So I did a tiny part in a play, and that was the first time that I kind of felt this camaraderie, the sense of family that I didn't have outside of my home growing up. It was really interesting, and I kind of loved it. And then so remember I was taking classes and dabbling in and out here and there during college, and then and then I wanted to give it a shot afterwards, and that's when I got after colleges. That's when I got all my children, and I moved to New York.
Nice. Do you remember your first audition and how nervous were you when you did the audition?
I had this horrible thing where when like I said, when I was first starting out, I was in this awful acting class. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to get an agent or anything. So I was just I did this thing where I would crash auditions, which I feel like you can't do anymore because you have, there's the internet, social media, you just can't show up at an audition. Back in the day, you used to have your headshot and resume, and you would sign into an audition and you would hand over a physical headshot and resume, and you sit there and you would read the material. And I think the very first audition that I crashed was Sheila the Warrior Princess. My buddy had an audition for it back then. We were in class together, and he just told me that he had this audition. He goes, "Yeah, you should just come. You just see what happens." And I think they all knew that I was crashing it. They were very graceful about it. They were very kind about it because they look at my my non-existent resume and my headshot, and they just go, "All right, where are you from? What are you doing here?" kind of thing. And they're very sweet about it, but it was nerve-wracking.
When you say crashing, do you mean you just show up without them telling you to show up? Okay.
Without invitation.
Okay.
And I didn't have an agent. They didn't invite me to audition or anything. I just found out that there was an audition, and I got the address, and I drove over there, and I just auditioned.
For someone who's new, though, I mean, if that was your first audition, you didn't really know you were crashing, yeah? Or you were just trying to find an opportunity to be part of something, right?
Yeah. It's that young, stupid gumption, right? I mean, you just know, you just had to do something, make something happen. Shortly after that, I would do the backstage thing, and I became just this like backstage auditioner, and I drive all over town doing these short films and whatnot. But yeah, that was a first big audition. I think I would have. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to do that later on in life. I was just young and dumb.
How addicted were you after the first audition? After you got the audition and after you got the call back and they said, okay, we want you to do, play All My Children. Was it there you were addicted, or was it General Hospital? I think was your first one, right?
Well, I think even before those, I think I remember one of the first auditions I got was Charmed.
Yes. Okay.
Way back in the day, the original incarnation of it, and I remember I had one line, and it was the callback, and I remember the guy that went in before me decided to do, and it was a dumb line like, "What are you doing here?" Right?
Okay.
Something like that. And the guy that went in before me, really, he made it his moment, and he like screamed it, and you heard the entire room of producers laughing, and I'm sitting here going, I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna walk in there and just piss myself, and this is gonna be the worst experience in the world. So I walk in there, and I'm sitting here going, do I shout it like that guy did? Am I supposed to scream this line? I didn't, and I just. And so I remember. So the scene is, I say, "What are you doing here?" And somebody like shoots me with laser beam eyes
Oh,
and
wow.
kills me, right? And so I didn't know what I was doing in auditions at the time. So I said my line, and then I pretended to fall back, but there was this rollout paper backdrop behind me, and I knocked the entire thing down, and it scared one of the producers, and I went, "Oh shit! Hold shit!" And then I said thank you, and I left, and I got it, and and I went, "Oh man, that didn't work out like." Didn't go how I thought it would, but it happened to work out all right.
Man, I wonder how that guy felt before you. It was like, wait, I thought I killed it, but this guy knocks everything down and he got the part.
Yeah, I bet he's doing a lot better these days. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea.
How is it? How is it more difficult? Like, you're doing the TV series, you're doing a bunch of TV series. How is that difficult with you and your time frame? And when you and I were chatting, there was a lot of different things that you were doing before we finally figured out a date. How tough is that on you on a personal base?
You mean in terms of just scheduling and in terms of
scheduling and filming? Yes.
It depends. I mean, to be totally honest, it could be the most annoying thing in the world, or it could be completely easy because there have been times when not much was going on. But if you have a year like I did last year, I was jumping back and forth in between two shows. Even when we were doing the exteriors in Las Vegas for the cleaning lady, I literally shot in Las Vegas and then hopped on a flight to Spain to shoot pickups for the other show. And I just remember, yeah, it could be completely chaotic, and it's really interesting how things happen. Some things happen sometimes because they kind of just come in huge waves and just knock you over.
Yeah.
It really depends on when.
How much of does this take up on your personal life? Like, you're trying to live a regular life, but then there's all these films you got to do. Does that really take toll on personal life?
Massive, but mainly because nothing shoots in LA anymore. I can't remember the last time I had a job in LA. I'm constantly traveling, and you just have to put your home life on hold while you leave town. Then you got to work everything else out. I have a dog, and you just have to work out your entire home every time you leave, and it's a lot. I'm just about to do it again for 6 months, and it's a lot.
Is it because of COVID, or is it because of just the filming in LA is a little more expensive than it is to film? Like the cleaning lady was in New Mexico. Is that the difference?
Yeah, I think that's the first thing. I think there are the tax breaks that we need in LA.
Oh, that's good. You did a movie in 2011 with Kelly Hu, and it was called Almost Perfect.
Yeah.
And I want to bring this movie up only because we seen Crazy Rich Asians, and we seen Always Be My Maybe with Randall Park. If you guys sit down and watch Almost Perfect, because those two movies that I just mentioned, I think took from Almost Perfect, because the movie there was almost exactly to me. When I saw Almost Perfect, I was like, wait, when I saw the two movies, Crazy Rich Asians and Almost Be My Maybe, I was like, this is from Almost Perfect. They just twisted it just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean interesting. I never really thought about it as being a precursor to those movies, but I'm sure there are a lot of similarities. But yeah, that was a long time ago. That was before, this whole wave of work that we're having, this whole wave of projects that are coming out that are Asian centric. It wasn't always the case, and that was certainly before that time, you know. And Bertha, the writer director, did a fantastic job, and yeah, Kelly and I had a blast shooting it. I actually had known Kelly from a previous job that I did in New York, and we became fast friends. She's just one of the best people out there.
Nice, nice. Kelly Hu is, we were talking about it at work today, and one of my guy coworkers was like, "Dude, he got to kiss Kelly Hu." It's like, he's acting. Come on, man. That's what he's doing. He's acting. But how was it working with Kelly Hu?
It was great because she was so game for everything.
Yeah.
She was so game to rehearse, to improv, to really, you know, with a movie like that, I feel like the good stuff is in the heart of it, in the relationship, the stuff in between the two people. You know, and I think she was really willing to build something there and spend the time and do the work to do that. So I think, I mean, you know, she's still a close friend of mine today, and you know, I adore her.
Nice. I mean, it's 2011. I would love to see an Almost Perfect 2, right? You know, just maybe somewhere down the road. I don't know. I mean, to me, I like that movie, and it was a good movie.
I wouldn't put it out of, it might happen. Who knows?
Bertha, if you're watching, let's go ahead and get the Almost Perfect 2 right away. You auditioned for The Cleaning Lady. You went there. How many people were in front of you to audition for the role of Marco?
Well, this was during the pandemic, so I don't know. I was a self-tape and I submitted it. So I have no idea. I heard there were quite a few, but I really don't know. I have no idea.
That's right. How was the pandemic for you? I mean, how was it for actors? I know you during 2019, 2020, I know it was rough for a lot of people when it came to the pandemic. Was the self-tape or sending, you know, your auditions via Zoom, was that something different, or was that something that you were used to?
It was a little bit different. I mean, we had started to go that way, but it was great because we all had to kind of hone it and really perfect it. And I personally prefer it to being in the room, because the room can be just randomly nerve-wracking for me, and I hate that kind of pressure, because I don't really feel like I can really do my thing when I feel just arbitrarily just an insane amount of nerves right away. You know, it just doesn't. But so yeah, the self-tape thing really did. I feel like it did help me a lot. You know.
We got one comment from Facebook. Elise, who is a big Cleaning Lady fan, went ahead and said, "Ivan does a very good job as Marco."
Oh, thank you, Elise.
You sold us. I mean, I believed you from the get-go. And I think the way the writers, how they treated you coming in, it's like, okay, you know, you want your family to come back. You're seeing your wife have this kind of weird relationship with a mafia guy. You know, of course, every husband and every dad will be protective of what's his. And you know, Elodie was your wife, or is your wife. You know, and you're like, wait, you know, where's all this money coming from? So you did exactly. The only thing I think what portrayed you as a bad guy right away is when you took the $20,000 to go gambling.
Yes. Well, okay. So a guy like Marco, you have to understand, or you don't have to understand, but the way that I approached it was that he always wants to be the king of whatever jungle he's in.
Yes.
In that moment, whatever narrative he's in, whether it's, you know, brotherhood, husbandry, fatherhood, whatever it is, he has to be the king. And the moment that he starts learning that she's taking money from this other guy, I feel like in his mind, he's going, well, let me show you. And the fact that he not only put the $20,000 away, but also made $5,000 on top of it with the $25,000 chip, like that shows a level of care and restraint that in my mind qualifies as action, because it wasn't, you know, the red herring at the end of that episode is that he's just gambling everything away, but and there's a profound darkness to that choice, but in my mind it was justified because he was trying to do good, just in a very wrong way.
I mean, I totally get when, my coworkers now, we always talk about the show on Tuesdays coming back, and, everyone's like, oh, why did he do that? And I'm like, well, I totally get why he's doing it. He wants to be the provider for the family. He wants, for a whole year, he hasn't seen his wife and his son. He knows his son is going through all these issues, and he wants to be there, and he wants to be the guy that is doing well or doing the great things for his son. And I totally get why you did all that. But again, it's TV, and everyone has the one. Someone has to be a bad guy. But how was it working in an environment where or in a situation where Luca, who's played by the twins, how was that for you? And how did you have to embrace the dad role for these two guys?
It was great, and it was lovely because the kids are so adorable, and they're so fun and so funny, and they're so playful, and their names are Sebastian and Val, and their father, Ronnie, very early on took me out to dinner and just said, hey, I just wanted to, make you feel welcome. And because I didn't get there till episode 4 or 5, really, because everything else was on FaceTime. So I got to Albuquerque a little bit late, and Ronnie was so good about taking me out, making me feel welcome, but also showing his kids like, hey, you can trust this guy. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to play your TV dad. And he was really good about that. So the moment that, I started spending time with the family, then it became a lot more comfortable, because that's always a weird thing. You're like hugging somebody else's kid.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit weird at first, but they were so sweet about it. And they're just great.
Nice. I mean, it was definitely, like I said earlier, you played the role really well. I love the whole, I'm upset because, my son, who I'm supposed to be taking care of, is being taken care of by someone else. The money that we're trying to find to get him, this operation is coming from someone else. And it's not coming from somebody nice. It's coming from somebody who's laundering, gun money.
Yeah. And then, in addition to that, it's, she's probably having something with him that she's not telling me, and that's pissing me off. So every subversive inclination that I have in the moment is completely justified, because what do I know? I show up in town and I learn right away that there's this other guy, you might be taking money from him, and like, it all smells fishy to me. Yeah. So I'm going to do what I want. You know what I mean?
No, you did exactly what I would think any husband would do. Any jealous husband would be like, I want to see the man who's paying for my son's operation. And you said one comment, I forget which episode it was, where it's like, is that all he wants from you? Are you sure that's all he wants from you? Us guys, we think differently. Of course, I'm just here to clean for him, and we're thinking, are you sure that's all he wants?
And also, Marco was right.
Marco was right. And it's one of those things where in reality also, you do have these little relationships that builds up. It's like Tony's character was always there for Armand, and Armand was always looking out for Tony. So of course they're going to build this, love-hate relationship. And it just, we all found out in season 2. In the episode 10, we're like, okay, this is definitely going to go somewhere, and what's going to happen in season 2. And I definitely think there is going to be a season 2.
Yeah, let's hope so. All arrows are pointing towards yes. So let's just hope it goes through.
Yeah. And I will show, letting Miranda know, like, hey, I'll make a good Tita Boy. If you guys need me to come and play Tita Boy for season 2, I'll be the one that, if you go back to Manila, I'm holding Luca and I'm not letting anybody in. I'll be more than happy to die in the first episode of season 2.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. That's a good pitch.
There you go. What else is good? What else is going on with you? I know there's a couple other movies. That Dirty Black Bag is something that's is that done?
Yeah, that's done. That just aired last week for the first time. The second episode drops tomorrow. It's a 8-part spaghetti western series on AMC Plus. It's about it's called That Dirty Black Bag because this bounty hunter named Red Bill, played by the brilliant and lovely Doug Booth.
Oh, yeah.
He shows up in town, and he shows up to this town, Greenbelt, which is a representation of hell. And he comes across Sheriff McCoy, played by the brilliant Dominic Cooper. And Sheriff McCoy wants him out of town right away. And what Red Bill ends up doing is he steals his horse and leaves town. So McCoy ends up chasing after him, and I play McCoy's deputy, a guy named Kurt. And so the show is about this ensemble of characters surrounding Greenville who are essentially trapped in their own personal hells, and it's a fascinating spaghetti western. It's like a new take on an old spaghetti western, like a modern take on it. So it's a brilliant show. It's one of the funnest things I've ever worked on. It's really unique.
How was it playing? You just finished playing Marco. You're doing, like a regular role as Marco. Then now you're going into a Western role. How was the transition for you on that one?
Well, this time was a little bit different because we shot the pilot for The Cleaning Lady, and then I went over to Italy to do That Dirty Black Bag. So I kind of left the world of The Cleaning Lady altogether because we didn't know if we were being picked up yet. Because how networks work. So I was out there shooting that, and there wasn't like that kind of back and forth crossover, except for maybe at the very end when I was doing exteriors and pickups. So it was actually fine. But fortunately, while I was out there, I did find out that we got picked up, and then came back, and then I had to shift gears and then go from spaghetti western, kind of this fictitious, interesting slang kind of jargon that Kurt speaks, over to a Filipino accent. Yeah. that was pretty difficult, but thankfully it worked out.
We got another comment from Elise, and she's asking with Aidan Gillen. I think Aidan Gillen's in it, right?
Yeah, he's in it. We have some great stuff in episode 2. He's such a fascinating actor. He was so great to work with.
Nice.
You obviously know who he is. Yeah, he was a really, really interesting actor. And in the first episode, he plays this unassuming dark character. He in the first episode, he poisons and kidnaps a bounty hunter.
Oh, wow.
Wow. But it's great. And so Sheriff McCoy and Deputy Kurt, we go and find them in episode 2, and it's really interesting.
I only know him as Littlefinger, so it's going to be nice to see him. Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. So it's going to be nice to see him in a Western role to see if he can, make that different transition from that accent to a Western accent.
Such an interesting quality about that guy in general, from Littlefinger to this character. Wait till you watch it; you'll see what I mean.
I'm definitely gonna watch the first episode as soon as we get off here. Why was it shot in Italy? It's a Western film. Is there a reason why it was shot in Italy and not like in Arizona or?
Well, it's an homage to the classic spaghetti western, the Sergio Leone films and stuff. They were all shot over there.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I got a question from my aunt over in the Philippines, and this is relevant to Marco, and I get like I said, they're big fans of you in the Philippines. Is Ivan, how does she say? I want to say it the right way. Is Ivan really a jealous man, or was that just Marco being a jealous man?
I mean, I've been with my partner for 4 years now, and I can't remember the last time that I was jealous. But I guess it's all about trust, because I have been jealous in the past.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of my exes would say that I have been, but I mean, I guess it's all about the relationship.
Just stay busy. That's all it is, right? Stay busy.
I mean, it's certainly a fun thing to play.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
No, that character, and something that I brought up earlier at work is I love the characterism between you and Martha. You guys, brother and sister in the show, and you guys played it really well together. And you made me and you made a lot of people believe that you guys, I mean, this is what a brother and sister relationship usually is. And the way you guys were like, wow, these guys are like, they're really like brothers and sisters.
I love working with Martha. She was such a firecracker and just exploded with talent every single take. And she was so spontaneous and just so fun. Like one of the funnest people to be on set with, because she was always just keeping it really light. And then when she had to dive into the emotions, she could dive like that and turn it on. Yeah. It was really impressive to watch and just a ton of fun. But yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I did feel that kind of closeness with Martha. She was just really easy to work off of,
How important is it to you? And I follow you guys on Instagram, and I follow, Miranda and the cleaning lady, all that stuff on social media. And I always see you guys having fun and having a good time. And it's not all about the business and being serious. How important is it to you as an actor that the area that you're working in has to be fun and enjoyable?
Oh, it's so much of it. It's everything, And I think Miranda and Melissa Carter, the showrunner, they did a very good job of assembling this environment that was very safe and where everybody could enjoy themselves and everybody could really genuinely play. And I think, especially with such an emotional show like this, it really helps to be able to just kind of goof around and have fun.
Yeah, I mean, you've always hear horror stories of like one actor being the a-hole in a series that makes it more difficult for the whole cast, because it's like depending on how this person is today, that's how the whole cast is going to have to act, right?
Yeah, that's just a nightmare. I mean, life's too short. I mean, let's just have fun and go to work. We're all, playing make believe for a living.
Yeah.
It's not that important.
No, and you did a great job. And the best thing about what your role is as Marco is I know there's going to be season 2. We're definitely going to see Marco back there. And it's funny because I think I called it in the final episode where all 9 episodes, they never showed Philippines at one time at all. Then they show that very first scene where Tony's taking Luca and you're sleeping on the couch watching a basketball game, and she just takes off. And then once the show was going, I'm like, you know what? This is how this is going to end. I'm like, he's going to take his son and he's going to go back. Because the whole show, you were like, we need to go back home. We need to go back home.
So, okay, that's very perceptive of you. So you tell me this, between you and your coworkers, after that first scene when she takes Luca, how did you guys respond to that? Were you like, oh, it's a necessary choice to make, so she has to do it, or was it a little bit like that's a bit unfair, to break up the family like that?
Yeah, no, I thought it was unfair because, me being the guy, me being the dad, and there into the backstory is they were waiting for for you to be petitioned to be able to go, right? That's why you didn't go right away. But her character being a doctor, in her head, it was more like, I need to get him help now before it's too late.
Yeah.
But to me, that was a little selfish in a way, it's kind of like, why couldn't you just wait for all 3 of you guys to go?
Yeah. Or not sneak off in the middle of the night or something.
Yeah.
See, I feel like Mark is justified.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Elisa again says, yes, full circle. What comes around goes around. No, I mean it's the truth. It's like, okay, she takes your son, you go there, and I'm surprised. Like throughout the whole episode, throughout the whole series, when you guys were doing the FaceTime together, that you weren't as upset as you were on the FaceTime calls. Because I'd be upset. I'd be like, hey, I kind of wish they did do the whole like, why did you give us a little more, like, why did you leave, why didn't you tell us that you were leaving, or couldn't you even wait a couple more months before my visa gets approved? She just left in the middle of the night, and to me as a viewer, I felt like she was hiding something. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah no, it's a good point. It's a delicate balance there, right? Because if you're that guy on FaceTime across the world, it's tough for every conversation to be, I'm so mad at you. Why did you abandon me? At a certain point, you have to play husband, you have to play father.
Yeah.
And I think it's a delicate balance. But I do think there were moments of that there going maybe a little bit more on the exasperated side. Like it's got to be done. It's time to come back. It's it's a conversation they've had many times, I would say.
I think what happens to a lot of people that comes from different countries, they see the taste of America, they see what America's like, and if you're only supposed to be here for a student visa or work visa, you're like, no, I like America for what it is. I don't want to leave, and Elodie's character kind of did that whole, like, at the end where she's like, this is going to be our new sanctuary. We're going to help, illegal immigrants here that doesn't have health care. And then I love Martha's part was like, but you're a TNT.
So true. I mean, even as somebody who's worked on the project, I'm so curious what they have in, like, where they plan for that to go after this. I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even as a participant, I'm really curious. I think it's fascinating what they've done.
I can't wait to see what season 2 is going to be like. I know for sure they're going to tie some loose ends, and I kind of wish. Did they ever explain what Marco does? What's his job in the Philippines?
Pharmaceutical sales rep.
Oh wow, okay. So you guys should have had the money for you to come out to America.
Yeah, ish. Yeah, not a great one. You know, I think Marco's the kind of guy who gets in his own way a lot. I think he, I describe him as, like, we all know the guy. He's that guy that's one chess move away from greatness all the time.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? He's like that thousandaire, soon to be billionaire. You know what I mean? He's that type of guy. He's caught up in his own thing, and he's an addict. He's caught up in his own hamster wheel a bit. You know.
Nice, but no, you play the role perfectly, and when season 2 is picked up, I'm very much hoping there's more of Marco involved. You know, if Marco has to stay in the Philippines and they have to keep Marco there, or if Marco has to come back to Vegas. I mean, they don't even tell us if Marco left Vegas, right? We just know that Marco took Luca. He could be down the street. He could be anywhere.
Yeah, he could be anywhere. It's the crazy thing.
My coworkers really thought in episode 9 that Marco was going to go to the FBI and tell the FBI the whole story and the whole plan of what, you know, Tony and Armand has. And I'm like, I don't know, you know, if he's going to do that.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I didn't see that coming, but that would have been an interesting wrench in the plan, right?
That would have been. That would have made you more the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I didn't think that I would be that much of a bad guy, but after seeing some of the comments online, I realized that, wow, I'm very much the bad guy.
You were a loving father and a loving husband is what you were, and people, you know, this is TV, and where else can you get the bad guy be the good guy and the good guy be the bad guy? It's TV.
It's very true.
You know.
Yeah. Same as Dirty Black Bag. Watch the same thing happen.
I'm gonna watch that. You're on all 8 episodes, which is cool. So we'll be seeing a lot of Ivan show.
Yeah. I'm not in the entire thing, but I'm in most of them.
Okay, that's cool. Dirty Black Bag. Where's that streaming again?
AMC Plus.
Okay. Dirty Black Bag. Ivan Shaw is. What's your character's name?
Kurt.
Okay, cool. We'll definitely go check this out. Let's see. I got another comment from Elise, and she's saying Marco was sort of tied to Garrett for being a bad guy.
Tied with Garrett for being a bad guy.
Garrett is the FBI agent, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah? Are we both bad guys? Is Garrett a bad guy?
Garrett was just trying to get the win. Garrett was just trying to keep his job and trying to get the win. And I think at the end of the episode, everybody won. You know, you got what you wanted. You got your son. He's healthy. He's ready to go back home. Armand got what he wanted as well. So everybody got what they wanted at the end of the film.
See, I think everybody thinks maybe me and Garrett are the bad guys because everybody's so madly in love with the Armand character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could hear it when you say it. Even you are, Eric.
No, you know what's funny? I was more the Armand to me is that character where either he doesn't like you or he loves you, right? So it's like he's, like you said earlier, he's one step away from either he's going to kill you and make you disappear, or you're going to have to work for him and prove to him that you're loyal to him. And I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy where I can sit here and, like, you know, take somebody out for you or kill for you. You know, I'm more the guy where it's like, if I saw that, if I was the cleaning man in that movie, I'd be like, dude, just kill me, because there's no way I'm going to clean for you for the rest of the show. Just
that's really
me.
Funny, yeah. And it just, I mean, to speak to that, that's brilliant casting because they picked the nicest guy in the world to play that character. He's such a sweetheart. He's a really, really nice guy, and he plays that bad guy really, really well, I think. You know? I
mean, he's one of those bad guys where he's like, you know, clean cut, or not clean cut, but he has that scruffy looking beard. He's dressed up in a suit, and he plays his character. You know, he plays that character really well, and you know, I am not in love with Armand. No way. I'm more on the dad side. I agree with what you did 100%, and I agree with how you treated, Tony and how you treated Luca 100%. And I would have done the same exact thing. I would have came to America. I would have been that jealous husband and be like, "Hey, what's going on here? Where's all this money coming from?" Yeah, I would have been that person. And of course,
like what have you been doing this whole time?
yeah, you've been trying to get help for us. We got a comment. This is from Evelyn. Evelyn, absolutely love the show.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Evelyn, we're waiting for season 2. Hopefully season 2 comes out. Hopefully we see more of Ivan Shaw, more of Marco. Marco de la Rosa, right? That's the name.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And for you moving forward, what else project besides the Dirty Black Bag?
So I just signed on to an Apple show.
Oh, nice.
It's called Dear Edward. It's written by Jason Katims, who you would know from Parenthood, and he was a showrunner on Friday Night Lights. And it's based on a novel by Anna Napolitano, and it's a story. It's a very fascinating, very interesting story about a plane crash where there's one sole survivor who is a 12-year-old boy.
Oh, wow.
And it's so I've just signed on. I'm about to start in a couple of weeks, and I could not be more excited. I got to go to New York again.
Is that the 6 months that you're going to be shooting? Nice.
Yeah.
Well, one of my coworkers commented, Ivan just made me more in love with Armand. LOL.
Why? Because I said he was nice? Where's Team Marco?
Hey, Marco.
No, nobody.
I would think if I took all my coworkers and I put the dads on one side and I put the ladies on one side, the ladies would be like, "Oh, Armand." The dads will be like, "No, he did exactly what a dad would have done."
Yeah.
I see that story. I mean, again.
There you go. What it ultimately comes down to is that the women like him more than they like him.
I mean, I see
what you're saying. He's hotter than I am.
This is all I hear at work when I'm at work. It's like, "Hey, Armand." It's like, come on.
I like that. There you go.
But it's funny because when I showed your headshot, I'm like, "Hey, this is going to be my next guest coming on." I was telling them at work. They were like, "Oh, wait, is that Marco?" I'm like, "He looks different, doesn't he?"
Yeah. I like that. I like the fact. I knew he was a darker character, so I like the fact that I look a little bit gross in the show.
No, you look like what a Filipino would look like when they first came to America. You actually look better than what a lot of Filipinos would look like.
I was darker. I was. I got some fun. Yeah, it's interesting.
I love everybody's comments. Elise again says, "I just love the chat. You guys are opinions of the show. Where's social media?" It's split down the middle. I think between the Marco and the Tony, and it's split down the middle. Tony did what she had to do to get her son helped. Now that Luca's help, Marco did what he has to do to bring his family back home.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So we'll see if he's successful or not.
Well, you guys are in the Philippines. You guys are going to show that one scene again from the last episode. You guys just sitting there watching a basketball game and Luca playing with his little rocket doll.
Right. There you go.
Ivan, I want to thank you for jumping on the show. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for everything that you've given us as fans in this cleaning lady. Good luck in more future projects for you. The Dirty Black Bag, again, available on AMC Plus for if you guys want to watch it. The Cleaning Lady is streaming on Hulu. And I don't know wherever you guys are watching it from. My family in the Philippines downloaded Hulu and they're like, "Hey, my aunt watched all 8 episodes before the 9th episode came out because she just wanted to jump on." And she was like, "After episode 2, I was addicted."
Amazing.
So,
great. Yeah.
Ivan, again, I like to tell my guests, whenever you want to jump on, whenever you want to share your projects, whenever you want to jump on, you're definitely more than welcome to come back on the show to do all that.
Will do. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Good luck in the future, and wish you nothing but good health and success in your life.
Likewise. Thanks, Eric. It's been fun.
All right, guys. That's Ivan Shaw. We'll give him another round of applause for being on here.
Thank you.
Marco de la Rosa, good luck and have fun. Stay safe with the next project you have.
Okay. Thanks, right. Eric.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was Ivan Shaw that we had right there. Comments coming out. Good luck, Ivan. Can't wait to see you on the other show. Elise. Thank you, Elise, for jumping on. Elise, I didn't forget about you. You're already in my mailing list, so don't worry about that. But I want to thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you guys for the comments. I love the chat that we have over here, and I knew that you guys would be a little more chatty because I had more of a character that you guys can whistle for like that. I do have another guest coming on. We're working on the details for next week, and it's another cleaning lady guest that I gave you guys a hint in the beginning of the show that it's going to be a guy. Not going to tell you which guy it is, but no, it's not going to be Aiden or Armand, as you guys would know. It's not going to be him, but it's definitely going to be a guy. But I'll give you this hint. This guy that I'm having on my show is tied with Armand. So you guys follow me on social media. You guys follow me on, again, if you guys want to follow me on all my social media networks, you guys can follow me on Twitter at EricB1642. Facebook, EricB1642, and Instagram, EricB1642. If you guys follow me there, you guys will see who I'm getting, you'll see who the next guest will be. But until then, you guys have to, Elise says, is it Hayek? Maybe. Let me lock in a date with my guest first. And then once I do lock this in, then maybe it'll be Hayek. I don't know. Hayek and this guy did have. He says, yes, please, Hayek. Hayek is hard to get. Hayek is not an easy character to get. That guy who plays Hayek's role, let me go look him up right here. He has a lot of shows that he does other than the cleaning lady. Looking for his name. Sorry. But yeah, it's going to be hard to get Hayek. I mean, I did reach out to a lot of people, and a lot of people is finally responding back to me saying, yes, I'll be more than happy. Yes, I'll be more than happy. So whether it's Hayek, whether it's not Hayek, you guys have to stay tuned to find out. Patrice, you already know who it is. I already told you who it was. But Naveed is hard to get, who plays Hayek. He's a hard character to get. So, but I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you guys for being interactive with the comments right here. Yes, it's Naveed Nekaban, is that the name? But yeah. But until next time, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for jumping on. Stay tuned for the next interview that's going to come on sometime next week. I'm meeting with this person on Friday. We're going to do a little FaceTime chat together. And once I have him locked in, look for it around the weekend, maybe Sunday, Monday, for me to start posting who it is. But until next time, I want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Again, this is going to be available on my Facebook Live page, and it's going to be available on YouTube. And if you guys want to listen and instead of watch, it's going to be available on all my podcast platforms. But until next time, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to end the live stream now. Thanks for watching, guys. Go in peace. Thank you for listening. You've been listening to the Daily Podcast with Eric B.